Hey team, it's me, Jay Song. Hey, I'm coming with you with an emergency video. I want you to be aware of something I've seen. There's a hidden player coming up on the weekly chart with 2 hours and 45 minutes to go. There's two things you need to be aware of. The first thing I want you to be aware of is on the weekly chart, we have this line right here, okay? That is the weekly downtrend that was interrupted. Now, why I'm saying this is an emergency is because these things can just be annoying and they can get in the way. That's terrible. They can get in the way. And right now, price has to close either above this yellow line, like solidly above it, or it needs to close below the yellow line, like what it's looking like right now. Okay. See how right now we're not we're not hard closed up against the line, we're just like below. That looks good. If that would close like that, that's still good. That's still bullish. If it closes above, about right here on 80.57, that's good. But if it closes right at 79 cents, 0.79, 1.3, that's sign to be aware. That we may actually have a short-lived up move for the rest of this week, and then we would still be waiting for higher prices later on in the month. What that would look like is it could look like something like this. Price can come back down to either here or to here to the red line, and then we can bounce up. It could play again and just curve again like that. But this is on a weekly chart, and I want you to be aware of it. And I also want you to be aware of the hidden player. So that's the known player. I have confidence that we were going to beat him until I was just looking at the chart and I said, hey, what's this? And this is called a hidden player. It's where you see and you can connect the dots on one of these lines. However, on that where you connect them, there's an interrupting player. So for example, if I were to connect this line to this line, you can draw him, but this can come through and interrupt the game. And it's almost like he was never there. Now he found support at these lines down here, but it's almost like he wasn't there. And when you see that, sometimes you can draw lines and still connect as if he wasn't there. Now this may not be that important, but the reason I want to draw and draw your attention to it is because of these couple things. So first of all, let's look at the base. So if we were to connect the bottom to here, there we're still good. Okay, we're still good. In fact, do that one. So this is strong here. Okay, that's strong. Next line we have is here. Okay, if we were to draw that one, we found support again. So the last time we were there, we found support because of here. Now we're up at top and we found support. So that's good too. That's usually enough to propel us continuing forward. But it doesn't, but because this is a weekly chart, we can experience a whole nother week of down movement. And it could be a little scary for you if you're not paying attention to the bigger picture. And I want you to be looking at the bigger picture. I don't think today's the time to party, or tomorrow, perhaps. It depends on how we close. But right now we're almost, hard closed against it. Now, the other player that is involved is these 2 points here, okay? If we connect the line from here, that's this magenta line, we're now under the underside of it. And if you look at it closely, what does that look like? It looks like it's a nice curve. Well, maybe not so nice, but it's a curve. Look at this. We came underneath in there. And because that's a big player, we may be able to experience a down run from there. Now, that's just the core principle. There's other things at play. There's other things at play. And for the most part, we've been experiencing support. So the major support of that, again, we already bounced off of that. Okay, by drawing those lines here. Okay, so we're already here in that area with support. So there's players within players within players, but then there's this annoying run because it's in between. It's not like the major trend like that would be up here. It's not that. Okay, that would be up here, more in the $1.17 range. Okay, that's not in play yet. But this player is there, and I'm drawing him as a dotted line so you can see that he's there, and he may get in our way. You need to be aware of that in case you're planning on celebrating, like, XRP to the moon, because we could actually be going back down, and you need to be aware how that can work. We can be going back down to the last supports, and the lowest supports you see is at 61.18. Now, why do I bring up the 61.18? Well, because we have the support at the wicks, but at the dynamic lines that are angled, okay, but we don't have a full support at the flats on either of these ones. I'm going to draw that real quick. And because we have the support of this angled line, that means that the flats are still, or can still be, in play. So if we ever came back down after launching from that area, that means that it's very likely we can have a good support at these areas here, which will now be, let's just do them blue. But and there's two of them, so there's that one and the other one here, which is the little brother. Okay, which will just mark them the same way, and I'll just make one less strong. The larger being the stronger. However, again, that means that we could we could actually end up going way down here, 62 cents, before coming back up. So that is something to be aware of too. Now, can the player battle that hard to push it up? Yes, but not right away. I think we actually still need a hard press against that. Because the setup on the daily was so good that the internals is such that we're still very, very bullish, and we're gonna fight that line. But I don't think, as it is, a kiss is enough to push it all the way down. Because the last time we kissed it here, and we went down, so we barely kissed it right now. Okay, yesterday, or I guess today, today or sometime this week. I think it was last night. When it barely comes up and comes back down, that's what I call a kiss. So is that strong enough to push it all the way down here? No, but I don't think so. But I am, because last time it barely moved it, here, and then we came right back up. So it knows these supports exist, but it can challenge these supports. And that launch would also be in line with some intel we have about later this month. Now, I think we still have another. And so I told you I'd give you all the tools you need to make a decision based for you. Now, if you're patient, I think that we're still definitely going to win. That player is just an interrupting player. Again, he's not enough to change the trend, but he can put a damper mood on the rest of your week if you see lower prices. Because if you're looking at like a 15-minute chart or a daily chart, a 4-hour chart, you could be like, oh my gosh, we're going really down, and that could put a damper on everything. So there's another thing that could align with the 4-hour chart. If we look at the 4-hour chart, we have this wide spring up. So normally the daily would win. Okay, the daily would win because it's bigger than the 4-hour chart. It's bigger than all of this. But if you have the 4-hour looking bearish, daily looking bullish, but weekly looking possibly bearish, then you have 2 versus 1. Okay, so that may mean that over the next 2 hours, unless we have a big change of behavior and come up and challenge that, then it's very possible we can see lower prices, even though all your analysis is correct. So I want you guys to remember those things. You're having players within players within players. If you're just trading on the 1-hour chart, you're looking like a winner. Okay, look at this. We're sitting on top of supports. Okay, so that's looking like a winner. But on the 4-hour chart, as I showed you, we can be looking like it's the Bulls, that the Bears are going to win. Okay? But then we go back to the daily. And on the daily, the Bulls are winning. Okay? So over the days, the Bulls will win. Over the hours, the Bears can win. Over the 4 hours, the Bears can win. However, we have to also pay attention to the weeks. And on the weeks, we are coming up against an interrupting player. Again, he's just a minor player because he's not the full trend. He is just hidden. He's like a hidden player. Okay. Um, Last time he was strong to hold up the trend, price broke through and hasn't really challenged him. They just kissed him when it first began, and he won. So this, if we, what I'm saying is, these two combined can sneak in for a quick victory. Okay, those two can squeak in for a quick victory, and they'll make the 4 hour, pointing down win. So perhaps I will take some profit at this level if we don't beat it in the next 2 hours or so. After that, so you'll have to. I need to go back to my day. You need to pray about what you're gonna do. I think it's very likely we'll get some better prices later in the week. Just for that fact. Just for that fact. It's not saying price can't spike up and challenge them. That would be the best scenario, to come up here and then challenge them. But as it is, I can only just tell you what I see with the data, and we actually have two reasons. If it was one or the other, and if it's just one, then there's enough to push through. But because of this hidden player, and I just seen him now, it's very possible that we're looking at another week of lower prices, and that lines up with some of the intel and the prophetic things that have been coming about later this month, and the intel about week 33 of this month. So you need to be paying attention to those dates. And if you're a long time holder, don't get caught with your pants down. They said, don't get caught without being in, meaning. So if you're a long time holder, you may not want to get caught in a position without your XRP, because I think we're really going to be seeing some very high prices. I did some more calculations. I think we're going to actually get to $1.27. But is that going to happen tomorrow? I don't think so. I don't think so. It's up to everyone to decide what you guys are going to do. I'm just letting you know the board. Overall, I can tell you XRP is going to win. So if you have just patience, good. If you're trying to scalp all those things, you have now I've given you the tools what you need. Or if you're trying to trade this like a swing, you can. But I'm letting you know XRP wins in the long run, okay, because of where we're going and the overall trend. But I'm just letting you know what's happening possibly over just the next few days. But we're also playing in dangerous times. All of these are dangerous times to be getting caught without your XRP, because at any moment they could announce settlement. There's those kinds of things. But some of the dates we're getting are later in the month. So I want you to be aware of that. So there may be time to play as a trader for a little more time. Okay, so I'm giving you all the things and all the tools you need to be successful, to know what you should do. I think you should pray about it. Okay, I'm gonna get this video out to you guys. And okay, so we do still have the support of this run, but we still have support of this run, but this guy is gonna be getting in our way. I really think he's going to get in our way for just a little bit of time. Not enough to change the situation. And the other reason I'm not so scared is because we are still on the underside of this as well. So, when we're on the underside of this, it's the safe zone for higher prices. And I definitely think we're gonna get there. I definitely think we're gonna get there. But this is the weekly chart, okay? And when I saw that player is there at a time when there's two reasons that can be powerful. Okay, look at that. Price went right up to the player, and it came back down. Now the last time we hit the player, we went down. Okay, look at the last time we hit the player, the interrupting player. It was here, right there. Price tried to go up past that line, and we went down, but only for 2 bars. And we say, oh, that's not so bad. Again, this is weekly chart, so 2 weeks of down prices. Now, it was short-lived. That's why I don't think the player is as strong. Okay, so I don't think this player is as strong as we think, and it's very possible we could break it. It's very possible we can even sit up and find support on the player, and then we can go up from there, and that's very, very possible. But again, right now, he's in play, and look how close we are to that 79 line with only 2 hours and 37 minutes to go. So we need to get past this, and we need to get past that player. If we get past it, that's good. We have some wiggle room, because if that's the case, which we already had a hard close on the daily chart, but if that's the case, then this is what I suspect and show you. I think we're going to be able to play in this area and bounce up and, off of this area. Sorry, it makes my lines wiggly. This app makes it wiggly when I zoom in. But I think we'll have time to play in this general range if we can stay above there on the weekly. But we already closed above there on the daily, but the weekly is stronger. So we need to be in this range if we're going to be able to beat the player. Otherwise, price can either hover for a little bit, stall, it can go up and down, it can shake up, and then we can go through. But it's just an interrupting player. So he's not the boss character. He's not like something we really, really, really need to be so worried about as far as changing the trend. And the reason I believe that is because we are still, the last time we faced him again was there. We went down, found the support of that whole run over here, and then we were back on our way up. So that player is weakened, but not defeated. But he hasn't been defeated yet. He's still in play. Last time he won the battle. Will he win again? And it could be nothing. It's hard to tell because he's an interrupting player. He really shouldn't be there, because in the overall scheme of things, this was the actual support. And in the grand scheme of things, he's already won. I mean, the uptrend is already won. But then you got this residual amount of people here that were trying to take their profits, and that's kind of the psychology behind it. Those people still exist here. Now, they're not the major players. We're still going to win. Okay? But they're in the way, and they're annoying. So it's like the minions before the boss character. And I didn't see them until right now. If we do hard close, those are the times when you don't want to be over leveraged. It might be a time to take some profit. We could stall for another week, but again, I'm still expecting higher prices until tomorrow. So we'll have to see. I think we're gonna get into this area tomorrow. But I want to see what's gonna happen. I just want to let you guys be aware of that. Last thing we'll do is we'll look on the daily chart so you can see it up close. Okay. Here's the daily chart, and here's the last time we fought the player. See it? We came down. How many days did we come down? From July 27th to July 20. From June 28th to July 20th. About 30 days we were down. Okay. So I'm going to get this out to you guys so you know what to do. I really think there's still a lot of fighting because we've already closed above the daily, and we've been focusing on the 4 hour, the 15-minute chart and everything. Um, but when that player's in play, if we close right a bit against that in the next 2 hours, then I almost bet we're going to be experiencing some down candles back into this range. 68 cents, 64 cents, sorry, 67 cents, 66 cents, 70 cents, in that range. So we have to make this clone. I'm gonna be putting these back up here just when we thought we won for this major battle. But I'm giving you guys the heads up. Okay, you got about 2 hours to decide what you're gonna do. I may take some. No, not today. I'm gonna hold out. I'm gonna hold out because I'm still in a good position. I'm here underneath this yellow line, so I'm still good either way. Um, I bought down here around 67, so I'm still really good. I think there's a lot of fight left into it. There's still a lot of fight because this is so good. I think we could come up and really challenge the player, and if we can actually hard close against the player itself, because I think we're gonna beat this one because we already showed we can beat it on the daily. I really think we have a whole week just to decide what it's gonna do. Either it's gonna blast through the player, or we're gonna hard close against the player, and that when that happens, we'll be just aware of it. But that's at 88 cents, 88.16. So I'm gonna give you guys these numbers. I can't tell you what to do because we can't predict the future. I can only tell you what's in the way. Okay? And we got about a week to do it. I'm gonna leave this line about right there because that's the next candle's close. So we can decide what you're gonna do. But I'm giving you this information and these prices. 88.26, the one to watch for tomorrow. Supports a little above 67.46, and the current one it has to beat in the next 2 hours, 78. I'll make this big. 78.99. Okay. All right, guys. Have a good day, and just pray about what you're gonna do. If you're gonna take some profits, or you're gonna let it play out. It could be nothing because it's just an interrupting player. It's not like it's a major player, but it can be something, and it's at the time when it should be.